I feel good about Jamar Chase. I feel good about Justin Jefferson. I feel good about Terrence Marshall. I feel good about our backups. I feel good about our tight end. I feel good about our quarterback. I feel good about our two running backs. Those guys are going to come ready to play. I believe in these guys. I would not want anybody else in the country on our offense or our defense than our football team that we have right here. I believe in these guys.
Hello and welcome into Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche alongside the Budman, Buddy Sanji, here on a Wednesday evening from Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. It is a huge weekend football in Baton Rouge, all over the country. LSU #1 taking on Alabama #2 in Tuscaloosa this Saturday, 2:30 CBS. Buddy, it could be made to the game of the century just like it was 2011. I mean, this is going to be a huge matchup. Tua, Burrow, still don't know the status of Tua. It might be a game decision. I think he's going to play.
No doubt.
So I want to welcome in the Budman, Buddy Sanji.
Well, I tell you, JP, everybody out there listening, we hope you're having a nice hump day on the replay on Thursday, whenever. This is why you're a fan of LSU. This is why you're a fan of Alabama. We don't have to tell you tonight that Alabama has won the last 8 meetings, but this year, Tiger fans have hope. Coach O was talking in that soundbite about all the things that he likes good. He says, I'm good about this, I like this. He didn't mention Thaddeus Moss, and I think Thaddeus Moss gives LSU a shot over the middle to do some things. Joe Burrow, the it factor. Tua is going to play. Question is he going to be 80, 85, or 90? Grant Delpit are going to play probably 80, 85, or 90. But this is everything the fan bases wants. This is a country. Originally, this week, earlier in the week, LSU was billing it as history. The first time ever, 2 #1s were playing. LSU won in the AP, Bama won in the coaches. But last night, as you wash your hands of that,
Right.
the CFP unveiled, and good news, Tiger fans, in case you haven't heard. LSU comes in second, Ohio State 1, obviously Bama 3, Penn State shocked some people at 4, Clemson at 5. But do you realize that the initial team that comes out first in the CFP poll so far, the history of the CFP, has never won a national championship?
Wow.
So you have good karma there. I think LSU fans thought with the 3 top 10 wins, but come on, let's be honest. All your friends in Texas absolutely know that that's not a top 10 win. They're 3-loss team and out of the top 25. LSU struggled against Auburn, dominated the stats, and didn't finish the game. And so, look, when you slice it and dice it, whether you're 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, Ohio State and Penn State are going to play. LSU and Alabama are going to play. And what a great weekend. The president's going to be there. CBS is going to be there with Gary Danielson and his knee pads. So it's going to be everything that you possibly could want. And I feel it in the air. I feel it in the traffic, and I feel it in the pace of my life this week.
Baton Rouge is abuzz. The entire nation is really gearing up for this matchup. It's been just another game, according to Coach Ogeron and his bunch. But really, if it was just another game, why would the whole world be watching? LSU versus Bama. It's going to be a battle of 2 titans. Joe Burrow versus that secondary, and then LSU's offense against Bama's secondary, I think is really the matchup to watch. This will be the toughest test by far for that Bama defense.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And of course, most people know now this is being taped Wednesday in late afternoon, and obviously they'll have some statements and all the things that we talk about with Tua and final comments tomorrow. We will have a little more of Coach O. We'll have some Nick Saban. We've got some players. And as always, we'll knock it around a little bit. But going into the game, isn't it nice to, believe that LSU has their best chance in a long time? LSU has not been ahead of Alabama in a game in 5 years. 5 years they've been not only with the L for a loss, but they haven't even been ahead. So now you have Burrow and his the Brady bunch, the tight end, the running backs, offensive line, done a good job. Everybody says Alabama's defensive front not as good as Florida or Auburn's. They're still good. You got to protect Burrow. But how exciting is this thing going to be? Bama, I think, is going to get their points. My question here on this Wednesday, can LSU outscore Alabama? And I like Joe Burrow with a late drive, and the legend of Joe Burrow continues to grow as they pull out and win this puppy 38-34. Get your popcorn, your man the sausage, and plenty of libations, because there's going to be scoring up and down in this game.
38-34 was the score from the Bud, man. I think there will be some scoring in this game. Joe Burrow, I mean, all the implications for this game, not only with the SEC West, the SEC Championship, the national scale, but the Heisman race. I mean, Joe Burrow right now, the front runner. If he can put together another phenomenal game against Bama, he gets himself a real good shot to get to New York at the end of the season.
Well, you got to call better plays in the red zone. We know that. You got to score touchdowns and not kick field goals. But, you know, there's been a lot of conjecture, JP, about what happens if Bama loses. Can they still get in? What happens if LSU loses?
Right.
Can they still get in? It's irrelevant. All you can control is what happens this Saturday afternoon. Whether they win or lose,
Right.
it's out of their hands.
Right.
So go in there wanting and expecting to win, and here's the big difference, Tiger fans. You got a leader, you got a quarterback, he's going to be poised, he's going to have everybody at his command, and if LSU calls the right plays, how exciting is this going to be? The defense of LSU's got to come up and tackle in space. You got to win the turnover battle. You got to have better special teams. But man, this is everything that you possibly could want. And I think the majority of Tiger fans that I've talked to have good vibe and good karma. And I'll get your prediction at the end of the show. But this is why we do what we do, because of the build-up, the fun, and how vicariously people live through these two teams in the state of Alabama and the state of Louisiana.
That's right. It's Bama Week here on Tigers Roar. Have a lot more for you today on today's episode. Guys, do our first break. But first, I want to tell you about Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Great food, great atmosphere, great people. Come check it out. Come check us out after this break right here on Tigers Roar.
Remember what these trips were like before you put the screens in the back seats?
I don't want to think about it.
Are we there yet? I'm hungry. Where are we?
Go. That game should keep them occupied.
Oh, yeah!
Dad.
Oh, in your face!
Don't make me get back there.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time? It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Weekend, Coach Orgeron will take on the Alabama Crimson Tide for the 7th time as a head coach. So far 0-6. He believes this could be the year he gets off the schneid.
Well, no doubt about it. By the way, we have the symbolization tonight, folks. We've got the last time LSU won a SEC championship in 2011. We know what happened in the Mulligan. And the baseball shirt, Chicks Dig the Long Ball. Now, I just want to remind everybody, 2 years ago, LSU got beat 24-10. But Danny Etling had DJ Chark 3 times open with the deep ball, and they connected on 0. Right. Oh, mention that on Monday would not shock me if they can give Burrow time to see some stop and go and try to get them on the deep ball. Alabama's pretty good at the secondary, only giving up 180, but they're going to give up closer to 300 come Saturday if LSU can protect Joe Burrow. And what'd you think? I thought Coach Joe started off a little nervous with the press conference, but he got into the feel of it. And I think the main thing, got to play smarter, right, and got to play with control of your emotions, right, because, and then obviously finish drives and finish games.
Well, Coach Joe has been preaching to his team, treat this like every other game in the SEC. Every game matters. Every game has postseason implications. Here is head coach Ed Orgeron in this week's press conference. Nah, I cut it.
Well, guys, what a great week for LSU. I'm excited to see the team. Last time I saw them was on Thursday. We had the Tiger Bowl, and we had some young guys do very well. Older guys were coaching it. Had a lot of fun. Hopefully they got to rest on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday and come back today with a great attitude. I know they will. Can't wait to see them. And we'll get on to Alabama, a big game for our football team, big game for our fans. A great week for LSU Tigers. We're looking forward to this week's of preparation. It's focusing on our football team, on our fundamentals, and our tackling, and get better. A little scouting report on Alabama's offense, as you guys probably know very well. The offense is a spread. Return start of 6, almost 50 points a game, 49 points a game, 506 yards total. Rushing 168, 338 passing. Tua is a fantastic player, as we all know. Great competitor. We totally expect him to play. Najee Harris is an outstanding running back, breaks a lot of tackles. Great wide receiver core led by Jerry Jeudy, is very fast. Those guys make a lot of plays. On defense, they're basically a 4-3. Only 5 returning starters, only giving up 15 points a game. Top defensive players, Jennings, Lewis, and Diggs. They're very good, very talented, play smart football. On special teams, they're very good and explosive, led by Jalen Waddell, number 17, excellent receiver. Henry Ruggs, very fast, excellent receiver, excellent return guys. Any questions?
Hey Ed, could you give us an updated status on Michael Divinity and where he's at with the team in this situation?
Michael Divinity has left the team for personal reasons.
And how do you see the outside linebacker depth filling in his absence?
Well, Kelly Bonchassa has been taking most of the reps, so Andre Anthony is going to be there, Ray Thornton's going to be there. We should be fine.
Ed, a couple of years ago, we were in Tuscaloosa, and I asked you, and you looked at me, and you said, "We're coming."
Yeah.
What has prepared you for this moment? What's prepared your team for this moment where you feel maybe better equipped as one of the best teams in the country to take on another one of the best teams in the country?
I like our quarterback, obviously. Like the way our offense is putting points on the board. We've gotten better on the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the football. I feel like our guys have been tested against Auburn. They've been tested against Florida. Obviously, they're going to be tested again this week. I do believe we have better depth on the defensive line. I think that our guys are equipped, and this is the best football team we've had going into this game.
Coach, how much of this game is psychology in terms of you're playing a game this week, you're not playing the previous 8 games or the game you played last year against Alabama and believing you can win?
It has nothing to do with it. Just like when we play Auburn, just like when we play Florida. What happened in the past has nothing to do with this. This is a new game, a new week, a new football team. So new players on their side, new players on our side, has nothing to do with it.
A year ago you said that if the line of scrimmage is so key to this game, and you were just saying you feel better about that now. I mean, it's primarily a lot of the same guys on the team. I guess what do you think has made the difference in a year?
Well, I think Tyler Shelvin's playing better. Last year they hurt us in the run up the middle. I think Tyler's playing really, really well. He wasn't in shape last year, and it wasn't as good as his fundamentals. I think Rashard Lawrence is playing well. Glenn Logan, we have some backups that are playing very well. So I feel good about our interior. I feel good about our core. I feel good about our tackling since the Vanderbilt game. Again, we're going to be tested. They're going to make some plays, but I feel that we're very well equipped.
Coach, on your right, I know that you love D-line play. How would you evaluate Alabama's defensive line this year?
Raekwon obviously is an outstanding player. I recruited Raekwon. He uses his hands very well. They have some young players up there. They still play with great technique. They still hold the line of scrimmage. They're still good pass rushers. Are they as dominant as they've been in the past? We're going to find out. There's some new players there, some new freshmen starting. They're good players. They just don't have the experience that they had years past.
Ed, over here. When you took the job 3 years ago, you cited Alabama as the benchmark for the SEC and for your program. I'm curious how do you compare the programs? How much ground have you all made up, you think?
Well, you can tell by the rankings, it looks like we made up some ground, but, we still got to beat them. I mean, that's, you still got to beat them. You still got to go through them to win the SEC West against the SEC championship. We've had some tests this year. We've answered the bell, and I do believe we have tremendous leadership. I do believe we're well equipped to compete with these guys. I believe it's going to be a great game.
Off the field, the program in general, do you feel like, staffing, resources,
Well,
do you feel like y'all made up around there?
No question. I think the hiring of Joe Brady, I think keeping Dave Aranda, having the analysts that we have. I believe that Greg McMahon's an excellent special teams coordinator. I'll match this staff with anybody.
Ed, have you ever seen this much wide receiver talent on a field in a game like this?
No.
I mean, how do you feel like that plays into this game, and how are you prepared for Alabama's talent there?
Well, it goes to show you the direction of the SEC, the spread. And all the top players in the country have an interest in coming play in the SEC. So we basically can go anywhere in the country and get the top receiver. We've just been fortunate we've had great receivers here in the state of Louisiana, which all 3 of our receivers are from the state of Louisiana. So we're excited about that. But you know what? We're able to attract top talent across the country. We have a great wide receiver recruiting class right now. So I think it's a tribute to having a great quarterback and the spread offense.
Certainly talent and preparation matter in games like this, but does confidence, and if it does having that guy, Joe Burrow, give you that advantage?
No question. He made some comments to me already right after the last game, so he's going to be ready. He's a leader. You know, we've been looking forward to this game, but we're not going to treat this game different than any other game. This is the next game on our schedule. There'll be bigger games down the road for us, but we understand. We have respect for Alabama. We understand what they do well. We understand what we do well. It's going to be a great game.
Ed, you're right. Just for the record, is there a possibility for Divinity to return potentially?
We're not going to close the door on that, but we'll see.
And then a plan for Grant Delpit this week?
Yeah, you know, Grant has a slight injury. We do believe that he's going to practice a little bit today, practice a little bit tomorrow, and will be totally healthy for the game Saturday.
Now that you've faced off with Alabama a few times as a head coach, I mean, just in terms of the way you prepare with your team for it, go into the week, I mean, have you learned any lessons, I guess, in that sense?
Yeah, you know, don't overhype it. There's going to be enough hype out there. Just, you know, stick to the fundamentals. Although there's great wide receivers, there's great quarterbacks, you still have to win the line of scrimmage here. Last year, we didn't win the line of scrimmage. They ran the ball on us. The year before, they threw the ball on us. So, you know, we're going to have to play well in every area of a football team. But it just goes back to fundamental. And this week, tackling is going to be a premium. They're very dangerous with yards after contact. That's where they make most of their plays.
I think it's my turn. Hey, Coach Marty Smith from ESPN. I know you want to treat it like another game. It's one against two, man. How do you define what's at stake Saturday?
Well, SEC Championship, SEC West, going to the SEC Championship, having a chance to be in the college football playoffs, having a chance to win the national championship. I mean, that's for us is every game in the SEC. I mean, to get to where you want to go, it seems like you have to go undefeated. You have to beat Alabama. You have to keep on going, and then you have to win the SEC championship. And then you get to college football playoffs. You know, so if you start thinking about all that stuff, it becomes overwhelming for your football team. But we know what's at stake, but we don't talk about that. Today's going to be Tell the Truth Monday. I'm going to talk more about the Tiger Bowl than anything, about the guys that played well, because I want our guys loose and relax and go play a football game.
Coach Osei wants his team relaxed, ready to go play this football game, not get overwhelmed with all the implications surrounding this game. Look, the matchups will be exciting to watch. I mean, the defensive line, offensive line, it all starts up front. If Joe Burrow has a pocket like we said, I think Coach O did a great job of giving kudos to his assistant coaches, because Joe Brady has done a great job really designing an offense to really exploit Joe Burrow's talents.
You know, play calling is going to be so interesting, because with you losing with Divinity and Justin, of course, who left the team a couple weeks before Divinity, you had a couple pass rushers, but they're going to go so quick, I don't think LSU's going to have a chance to get a lot of sacks anyway. But does Aranda sit back with the three-man rush and cover with 7 and have to come up and tackle in space? Do you play press? Do you mix it up? All those things defensively. And on the flip side, do you see the screens and some of the stuff that Joe Brady's been saving? You know, he's got to saved a few plays that he loved with the Saints. So play calling, execution, going to be very interesting. Of course, we know that Bama is better at the line of scrimmage with recruiting, and I guess we'll find out if LSU's closed the gap. But you made a great point. Is Joe Burrow going to have enough time? And on the flip side, can they win the line of scrimmage? It's been tough at the line of scrimmage, so big challenge in the trenches this Saturday.
You also heard the question asked to Coach O. Have you ever seen this amount of talent at the wide receiver position for both teams in one game? You all know about the trio for LSU, combining for 25 touchdowns so far this season. But Alabama has a group of 4 that are very good, highlighted by Ruggs, Devontae Smith, Jared Jeudy. Playmakers, studs on the outside. So it will be a good matchup on both sides of the ball. Lots of talent to watch at the wide receivers position. We'll hear from Coach Nick Saban of the Crimson Tide right after this break, right here on Tigers Roar.
All right.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, HardiePlank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Remember the smell of vinyl? What happened to all your old records? Lost in a move? Thrown out by the ex? Get them back. Classic Vinyl's record store and collectibles, 13847 Coursey, where you can find all old vinyl, all genres of music, rock, country, blues, and R&B. Classic Vinyls and collectibles behind Mary Lee Donuts and Coursey. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Look for them on Facebook. Classic Vinyls, sponsors of Classic Vinyls, Classic Rock Night, Thursdays at Scoreboards on Coursey.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None of you's even a vowel. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. 你好.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-654-9927, 800-654-9927.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined by the Budman Buddy Sanji here at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. If you haven't done so, come check it out. Great food, great people, great atmosphere to watch some sports. Bring the whole family. Come check it out. Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Buddy, jump right back into it. LSU Bama, it's already been built up as maybe the biggest game in a decade. We all know that in 2011, the game of the century, quote unquote, LSU went down to Tuscaloosa, won 9-6. Not a lot of offense, a missed field goal. Special teams played a big key. Eric Reed, interception late. I don't believe it'll be that close this year. There will be more scoring. But the final score, you guessed 3-4 points. I might be leaning that way too.
Okay.
Coach O has his team focused on this week. Every game is important in SEC. Right here on Tigers Roar, we'll let you hear from Nick Saban head coach for the Crimson Tide. Of course, you all know Nick Saban spent a lot of time here at LSU, really turned around the program. A lot of that jealous ex-girlfriend tendency with LSU fans and Nick Saban. Of course, he leaves to go to the Miami Dolphins. Didn't work out. Takes a job at Bama. And it's been rough sledding for the Tigers in recent memory. Will this be the year to turn it around? We'll find out. But here's Coach Nick Saban talking about his team and how they match up against this LSU Tiger team.
Well, I thought we had good bye week focus and preparation on things that we wanted to do to try to improve and get better. Players had a few days off with fall break here, so we're actually looking forward to, getting back to work today. Going to be playing, what is the #1 team in the nation, who's playing at a very high level right now, and they're very explosive on offense, and still have one of the best defensive teams in the country. I think our focus needs to be on attention to detail, doing the little things right, trying to execute the plan against what has been a very good team in terms of how they do things, whether it's on offense, defense, or special teams. We've had a lot of great games with these guys. I think everybody's been ranked in the top 20 since 2007. It's kind of become a rivalry game because of the quality of the programs, and I think Ed has done a really, really good job with, this team this year. They're very efficient in the passing game. Joe has done a really, really good job at quarterback. Totally different offensive scheme than what they've played in the past in terms of have capability to create balance in their offense with a really good runner and a good offensive line. But they also spread you out, create some matchup problems because of the great skill guys that they have, outside in their wide receiver core. Defensively, they're always very well coached team that plays really sound fundamentally. They've always got good guys in the back end, which they certainly do this year in terms of the cover people. And they got great team speed, so they're really good on special teams. So there's not a lot of weaknesses in what you see in this team. And when you play teams like this, I think the most important thing you can do is focus on what you have to do to prepare and know that execution is going to be critical in the game, and try to have a great week in terms of how you practice and prepare for the game and focus on that. You guys always ask me, what are you going to do different this week? Because you're playing the #1 team in the country. Well, every game that we play is an important game, especially when you're playing in the SEC, especially when you're playing in your division. And this is most certainly an important game. But if there was a better way to do it, we'd already be doing it. So I think that, our players are pretty comfortable in, our weekly preparation of what we try to do, and that's what we want them to stay focused on. And that's how we're going to try to approach it.
What have you learned over the years with a game like this and the hype around it? How have you learned how to manage that over the years?
Well, I think the big thing you want the players to do is not get involved in the hype surrounding the game, or even think about the implications of the game, but prepare for the game as if this is the best team you've played, and the player that you're going to play is the best player you played against at his position all year long, and therefore you're going to need to challenge yourself to play your best and be your best as a football player and stay focused, on that, and not the distractions that surround the game relative to implications or whatever gets created relative to the circumstance of the game.
Coach, what's the practice plan at quarterback today and going forward this week?
Right. Well, been pretty consistent on the message with Tua. If he can play in the game, it'll be a game time decision. He did practice 2 days last week. We'll see where he's at today, and then we'll manage the reps accordingly. And when I say that, we cannot predict. If he goes out there today and he looks good, then his rep count is going to go up, and we'll prepare him as if he's going to have an opportunity to play in the game. If he has a setback during the week, we can't really control that, but that would change the plan. The way we practice on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, both quarterbacks are going to get pretty much the same reps, and that's probably how we'll manage it this week in terms of their preparation.
Stay back there with Brett.
LSU's third down defense is a lot better this year than it has been in the past. Is that a product of the new offensive scheme you mentioned, or is there something specifically that they do on third down?
You talking about their offense on third down? They're a completely different scheme. They've been an empty at least 80% of the time probably on third down. They like to see what you're in and then try to take advantage of it however best they can relative to the quarterback kind of knowing what you're in or them getting the best play called versus what you're in. So they've been very effective in making the defense declare itself so they can see what you're in and then doing a good job of executing and taking advantage of it.
Back over here with Charlie on the right.
How much progress have you seen from Christian Harris this year, given that he had never played the linebacker position before?
Well, he's done a good job, and he's really conscientious, works hard at it. I think the more reps he gets in practice, in preparation, the better he plays in the game. He's a very explosive player. He can run fast. He's a good cover guy. He plays well in space. So we're pleased with the progress that he's made. We still have work to be done, as each and every week presents some new challenges, especially for the young guys. But he's been very conscientious in his preparation, and I think that's all we can ask at this point. And he has continually improved as the season has gone on.
Up front here with John.
I had two kind of obviously related questions. First off, Joe, you talked about the new system. How good a job has Joe Burrow done in them fitting the system to him and vice versa?
Well, I think that Joe is very capable of making every throw. I think he's very bright in terms of throwing the ball the right place relative to the defense. I think he's very athletic, so sometimes when those plays aren't there, he extends plays and makes plays down the field. And he also has the capability of running and creating some problems for the defense from that standpoint. So he's a very good scrambler, I guess, to run or to throw. And their receivers do a really good job when he does extend plays of playing scramble rules and trying to get themselves open so he has some options. So I think he fits the scheme very well, but I think he's a very talented guy, and I think he'd do well in any system. But because this is more of a spread system now, I think he can see what's happening and make good decisions, and he's been very effective.
LSU's obviously had a lot of receivers that were very talented, having great NFL careers, and now they got guys who are talented and putting up big numbers as well. What have you seen from that group overall?
Well, I think this is obviously the most talented group of receivers we played against all season long. They have any number of guys who play, but the two guys that are most productive are number one and number two. One plays in the slot, one plays X most of the time. They move guys around, sometimes relative to matchup. Those two guys have big-time numbers, but, they have a core of guys, 5 or 6 guys that play and have roles in what they do. I think their tight end Moss has played really well for them, this year. So all in all, when you put the running back in the category, he's a really good receiver, really hard to cover. Create some matchup problems, as well as these receivers that we're talking about. They have a lot of guys who can make plays on offense, which makes it very challenging for you on defense.
But you see a calm Nick Saban right there in the press conference that was on Monday. Hopefully this Saturday we'll see him a little more fired up, getting in somebody's face, kind of blowing a gasket.
Could you imagine if LSU got ahead on Alabama and then they called targeting on Alabama? Oh, I must be drinking more than water today to be thinking about that. Look, back to Coach Saban. He is an incredible motivator. He's smart. He's going to have every I dotted and every T crossed. You know that they're going to bring a great game plan. They're going to confuse LSU on offense and defense.
Yeah.
David Aranda the last couple of weeks has had to go in and make major adjustments at halftime.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that Joe Brady and the guys, and no disrespect to Coach Ensminger and Coach O, but they have been part of the offense the last 3 years, and it's been 2 shutouts in Baton Rouge and a 24-10 loss 2 years ago in Tuscaloosa. So I'm hoping that Joe Brady has a lot of impact bringing some of those Saints play calls, using the tight end, the bubbles, the screens, the backs out the backfield, the wheel route with John Emery, Tyrion Davis-Price. Got to play under control, got to play smart. But as you and I were talking, and I could tell, you have a phobia about until LSU beats Alabama, you're not going to believe it. And I think the difference this year is with Joe Brady and Joe Burrow, you have that confidence. And those guys aren't going to be scared to win. And let's hope that they dial it up, because can you imagine a game in the 30s? Be unbelievable as long as the LSU guys get the W.
We have a lot more here on Tigers Roar. After this break, we'll be joined by Mike Scarborough from TigerBait.com. We'll get his take on the game, what matchups he's looking forward to, and the latest on recruiting. He's the Bud Man, Buddy Sanji. I'm Jonathan Poche. Come back and join us here on Tigers Roar right after this break.
Taste the feeling.
Hi folks, Clarence Buggs here. Coach Roger Cador would take the time to tell you how to catch our brand new show, The Roger Cador Show, but as you can see, he's kind of busy right now out at Scoreboards, Baton Rouge's newest sports grill with food that is absolutely amazing. Catch the show 8 o'clock Tuesday nights, 6:30 p.m. on Wednesdays, and on Pelican Television's YouTube channel as well. You want to come out and have a great time. It's awesome, isn't it, Coach? Mm-hmm. Told you.
Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Balello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bugman, 923-BUGS.
For total pest control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bugman today, 923-BUGS. And we welcome you back in on this Wednesday afternoon in Scoreboards. Grill, of course, everybody knows about Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Got some specials tonight. We'll tell you about the weekend specials. And this segment, of course, with Mike Scarborough with TigerBait.com. Mike, obviously, a lot going on with your business, and a kind of a general question. How has your business been affected with this year? And give us a little overview of what the recruits have been saying the last couple of weeks as LSU and Alabama get set to kick it off Saturday afternoon with 1-1 or 1-2 or 2-3, regardless of what rating you look at.
No, I think I'm like a lot of Baton Rouge businesses. When LSU's winning at a high level, restaurants are packed, and your show's widely viewed, and it's no different for TigerBait. Business has been phenomenal, and LSU fans are been subscribing to TigerBait in huge numbers, particularly in the last month.
Hey, I had somebody after you got off the radio today said, ask Mike on TV tonight, is this the hottest that you've seen LSU in recruiting? Me and you go back a long time, and I remember when Spears and Clayton and Niswanger and Whitworth and all those guys, that special year, that 01 class. But is this the hottest that LSU's been as of late recruiting? And tell us some of the comments that you've gotten from and feedback from the recruits on why they're going to stick with their verbal commitment to the Tigers.
I tell you, man, I always think of 2001 as the benchmark, and particularly as far as, you know, the number of years I've done it. I think this year surpasses that. I really do. Now they do need to finish with, you know, offensive linemen. But if you get Dumerville and maybe one other one and a Zach Evans, along with Jacoby and Guillory and all those defensive linemen, on paper now, that, you know, I'm talking about at this time, in the same time period in 01, on paper, this class is at that level, maybe even a little bit better. And what makes it, you know, LSU the hot team is, you know, when you go and you get Elias Ricks from out of state, and then you have something crazy like Gilbert come on board, Reed Gilbert, you know, that just adds to it all. And plus the number of defensive linemen, that to me, that's a real biggie. And then you've got linebackers, the number of high-profile kids out of state, Sampa, arguably the best receiver out west, best receiver on the East Coast, the two best in Louisiana. It's just been a phenomenal year for the LSU coaching staff, and they've worked hard, and you know, it all traces back to Ed Orgeron. It's if you weren't a believer 2-3 years ago, you know, and I know a bunch of skeptical guys, and everybody I know is bought in, and they thought Orgeron has pushed all the right buttons in every facet of the program. There's a difference between team and program, and the program is on solid footing for years to come.
That's a great point, Mike. Yeah, recruiting has been so hot as of late. Obviously, a big national stage coming up this weekend. What can a game like that, I mean, the secondary against the wide receivers, a lot of people will be on spotlight or spotlighted in this game. What can a national stage like that just do for recruits nationwide?
Well, it's just, you know, look, you know, kids want to play in games like that. Yeah. You know, you got all the stuff that goes along with the game. The President of the United States is going to be there. Game day, SEC Network, all the top players on each side of the ball for both schools. I mean, you know, if you're a recruit, you want to be a part of that, and that's why it's so big. You can't spend money in marketing budgets or any of that for everything that's going along with this game. My YouTube feed right now is absolutely full of, all the talking heads on every network across the country, and when they're on TV and they've got Joe Burrow or LSU's images in the background, that all feeds the recruiting at LSU.
Mike, obviously back to Eric Gilbert, the big 6'5", 255-pound tight end from the state of Georgia. Also getting Max Johnson from that state, as well as BJ, the linebacker, who is his teammate. But do you signal and see a change with the national perception, as you just alluded to? And does this help Coach O and his staff move forward, getting a guy like Gilbert, who everybody thought was going to be an Alabama commit, and yet he's LSU and has shut it down? Do you see the tide turning, moving forward, LSU continuing to be hot? And obviously, you and I have talked about it, recruits don't put a lot of stock in one game, but let's be honest, every recruit in the country is going to be watching that game Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, no doubt. I just think what it does, for the program, is they're going to continue to recruit nationally. If there's a kid that they highly covet in Portland, Oregon, it just gives you confidence in the fact that, unless both his parents graduated from the University of Washington or Oregon or whatever, that you can maybe convince that kid to come for an official visit because you're LSU. And and I think LSU's always kind of had that brand. But I don't think that Les Miles was willing to send his staff on those types of trips to make the effort. And I think that's the big difference between Ed Orgeron and his staff now. I think, obviously you also have, more staff in the building beyond just the core group of assistant coaches that help in that regard. When we talk to recruits, I did a story with Josh White yesterday. Well, he's talking about Coach Wheat, who's a defensive analyst. He's talking about Coach Aranda and Coach Orgeron. A lot of recruits mention guys that are not household names that are in the building but are not on that aren't defensive line or linebackers coach. They're analysts or assistants to the assistant. And that aids LSU in recruiting across the country. And so I just think it just keeps on keeping on.
All right, Mike, back to the game this weekend. A lot of LSU fans have reason for hope to think that the Tigers can finally take down the Crimson Tide. Me and Buddy kind of touched on that the offense is different than it ever has been. New scheme, Joe Burrow executing it almost to perfection. But what phase of the game kind of gives you hope that LSU can finally get off the schneid against the Roll Tide this year?
I was talking to Brett Baird, who I go back a number of years with, who does radio and sports rights in Alabama. And he's given me the rundown on Alabama and what their concerns are, and it's really you can flip it, and it's almost like you're talking about the same team. I think their offensive line might be a little bit stronger than LSU's, but I think LSU's defensive backfield is better than theirs. They think they might have a little bit of an edge at running back, but I don't know that you would want to trade LSU's running back situation for theirs at all.
Right.
Wide receivers a wash, quarterbacks a wash. So to me, it's going to. I wonder at the end of the night if it's going to be the team that actually can run the ball better. Because I think the receiver's going to get their yards. I told Buddy earlier today, I keep having this vision in my mind of a pick six from Derek Stingley. It's something like that could be the difference in a football game like this. It's one play or one crucial turnover, and it could also be something as simple as coming out quick and fast and scoring first, or your first few possessions scoring, and getting a lead. But I agree with some of the things that have been said earlier throughout the week is, LSU needs to keep the pedal to the metal and go and really be aggressive. And if you get a lead, you can't be conservative in this game. Neither team can afford it, because offenses are so just can explode. And of course, you know, the conspiracy theorist LSU fan out there just knows if you go into the fourth quarter, you would like to be up 2 or 3 scores because you never know what can happen if the Zebras get involved.
Hey, Mike, let's give them a handful of recruits before we let you go tonight that you feel can be a part of this class that maybe aren't verbally committed to LSU and their positions. And obviously, at what point do you start to see the numbers become more realistic? I know everybody knows they've got to crunch some numbers, but we talked about Jacoby and Guillory and Zach Evans and all these other guys in Doomerville. Do you see maybe another 5 names that aren't on that list now? And obviously, how tough will it be to manage the tight numbers this year?
Well, look, you know, Jordan Berry was a guy that, you know, everybody kind of was looking at for months. It wasn't a, you know, I never would name names, and I don't think it was good. I mean, and I hope that kid ends up somewhere great and has a great career. But when you look at the LSU's commitment list at 24, and just, you know, really going line by line and saying, okay, if we're talking about this number of kids that are uncommitted, what are the possibilities? And I think the high end is 3, and I think maybe only 2 is really logical. So if it's only 2, well, then that gives you 3 spots. Jacoby Guillory is one of them. Zach Evans will be at the LSU-Alabama game this weekend. Marcus Doomerville as the offensive lineman is a must-have. You know, is that it? Or is there maybe it does go to the 3, attrition of 3, and then you've got room for a Tykeas Crawford from Carthage, Texas, the other offensive lineman, or Xavier Hill from Olive Branch, Mississippi. And I think those are the most logical names and probably the logical numbers for the rest of this class.
Well, you always got to have a backup plan, guys, because you know, JP, it's happened before. Some people may renege on their verbal commitment, and obviously Butte and Rakeem Jarrett were at Alabama. Mike, it'll be interesting to see what they tweet out after this game on Saturday.
Yeah, but I think LSU is confident that those guys stick, and I told you earlier today, I think regardless of whether if LSU finishes with those names that I just named, regardless of whether this class finishes 2 or 3 in whatever network's rankings, this is truly an elite class, and everybody around here should look at it as number 1 because it is insanely good.
All right, my man, let's tell everybody, once again, you got a great special. This is a great time of the year. Mike's been doing an outstanding job talking hoops, getting a lot of basketball recruiting info. So give us a skinny on becoming a member of TigerBait.com.
That's it. Go to TigerBait.com. We had a basketball war room last week. Like you mentioned, that we're going to have more basketball recruiting here real soon. That signing day is a little over a week away. So go to TigerBait.com. $1 you can get on the site. LSU fans have been coming on the site, and we've got like a 96% retention rating of anybody who tries our $1 trial period sticks around. So our Tiger Den message board all-day chat every Wednesday, and we're blowing it out at TigerBait.com.
You want to give us a prediction, or you going to make me wait till Friday?
I'm picking LSU. I don't have an exact score yet. I'm somewhere around 35-28, but I'm picking LSU to break through.
All right, Mike, thank you, buddy. We'll talk with you later on in the week, and obviously next week right here on Tigers Roar.
All right, thank you all. Talk soon.
Thanks, Mike.
And you know, it's a great problem to have when you have too many kids that want to come to LSU,
right,
and you don't have enough scholarships. But every now and then, there's a few that slip through the cracks, and you got to have a contingency plan B or C. But pretty darn good time to live in South Louisiana. Saints fan, Tigers fan, Jags. Come on, Jags, let's get a little momentum. Good time to be a football fan in South Louisiana.
Jags had a big homecoming win this past week against the Alabama A&M Bulldogs, 35-31. It was a great homecoming gift for all you Jags fans that came back to the campus on the Bluff to watch the game. Have a lot more here on Tigers Roar on Alabama LSU this weekend. We'll hear from some players when we come back from this break. Once again, that's the Budman Buddy Sanji. I'm Jonathan Poche, and you are watching Tigers Roar.
We've been fighting the war on drugs for a long time. We answer the phone 24/7, 365 days a year. On a busy night, we answer hundreds of calls. This war on drugs needs our intervention.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has helped people struggling with drugs and alcohol.
When the phone rings, we help people when they need it the most. When we get a caller into treatment, it feels right. It feels good. It's a blessing.
If you're struggling, drinking, using, and need to get clean, don't suffer alone in silence. Call Addiction Hope and Helpline.
Our people understand, and many are also in recovery. Call for support and strength. You can call for someone who can't or isn't willing. It's an act of love. Together we can help you beat this thing and erase addiction from your vocabulary once and for all.
Call 800-383-8177, 800-383-8177.
Super E, we have a new client to sign. You need to fly out and meet them right away.
I'm on it. Up, anyway.
Okay, who closed these windows?
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
For Total Home Pest Control, who are you going to call?
Call the Bugman, 923-BUGS.
For Total Pest Control for your home or business, call the original Salvat.
Call the Bugman today, 923-BUGS.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people.
You can know the right people too.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Hello. Hola. Ni hao.
Experience what the Baton Rouge International School can offer your children. Now welcoming displaced students for short and long-term stability.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. We're at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Sports on the TVs, great food in the kitchen. Come check us out. We have some specials today. Jambalaya, chicken fettuccine, and some drink specials at the bar. Come check us out at Scoreboards 10655 Coursey Boulevard. But man, getting back to the matchup this weekend, Joe Burrow will have his hands kind of tied if LSU can't protect him in the pocket. Got to give him some time. Yes, he does scramble a little bit, doesn't do things with his legs, but really all starts when he's throwing that ball.
Yeah, no doubt about it, and we love Joe, what he brings to the table. Look, he lives for a game like this, and obviously we're going to give you a couple of interviews to listen to, and both of these guys are going to be big impact players. Now look, Joe Burrow, I'm looking for about 300 yards. I know Alabama's only given up 180, but I don't think they've seen anything like the Brady Bunch, and expect those guys to be great, including Thad Moss and the trio. Hey, Terrace Marshall, big threat, especially in the red zone, catching everything. So excited to see how this game unfolds. And then we'll follow up with Caleb on Chason, who did have some interesting and spicy comments about the magnitude of this game. But let's be honest, he's due. Yeah. He's got to quit talking and make some plays. So 18, let's see you do some karate chops, get those big Alabama hands off of you, sack, hold your hands up, bat balls, cover in space, and wrap up. And obviously we'll let you hear from 9 and 18 here as we roll the tape with those two guys. And who you think has a better game, real quick? Burrow or Tua?
Joe Burrow. Tua, I do believe, I said it, he will play. I do think he'll get the ball out of his hands quickly. They do have dynamic wide receivers, but I'm taking LSU to win this game, and to win that game, Joe Burrow has to have a great game. So I'm taking Burrow over Tua.
Let's go to Joe right here on a Wednesday night, live from Scoreboards.
I mean, you obviously have the bye week, so you worked on them a little bit last week. But you try to approach it like any other game. Obviously, it's not. But you do the same routine you do every week. You watch film the same way. You approach practice the same way. And obviously, with the bye week before, you have an extra week to prepare.
Do you feel there's more motivation going into a game like this? I know you don't have that history.
No more. I wouldn't say more motivation. We're playing in the SEC. We're undefeated. We have a chance to do special things here, and we have the last 8 weeks too. So if you need motivation, then you're in the wrong place. You got motivation all through the year.
What is it about Alabama's defense that always makes it a perennial, top tier team?
I think they have really, really good coaching. They have really good plans every week. They put their defenders in the best positions to be successful and know their skill sets and can hide the weaknesses very well. And then our job is to take advantage of those weaknesses that they show.
You talked a lot about when you got here about kind of earning the trust of the team and doing things kind of slow play. Do you feel it's important that you remain even keel this week so that your teammates kind of see that same temperament about you?
Yeah, we're just approaching practice this week like we have the last 8 weeks. We've practiced very well. We've had very efficient practices, and we've been really on point. And we're going to just keep that up this week.
I guess tell me about the options that you have, or the opportunities that you have this year as opposed to last year with the offense that you guys are running. It seems like you talked about earlier in the year, if somebody wants to take something away, then you have some other looks.
Yeah, I think we have, with Clyde and Thad, and then some of our receivers that back up Justin and Terrace and Jamar, I think we have 8 to 9 guys that you have to defend at any time. When we have the receivers that we do, and then when we have Thad and Clyde in the game, in the passing game, you got to pick your poison. We got 5 guys on the field that can make you pay if you don't cover them.
What is it about you try to compartmentalize every week and every team, but how excited are you just to take this offense against this team this weekend?
You always embrace challenges, but we've been challenged many times this year. We went on the road, really good Texas team, played Florida, Auburn, so we've been challenged. And I think that's going to help us a lot this week. Facing the adversity we've had this year and then last year, having a lot of guys coming back, I think it's going to really help us.
What is it about Clyde's game that makes him unique at running back?
You see the NFL game, as a running back, you don't get on the field unless you can catch passes. And that's what Clyde does best. He comes out of the backfield, makes linebackers cover him, and then when they're thinking he's going to exit the backfield, you hand it off to him, and he runs for 60 or for 40. So he's a super versatile player that, not a lot of backs are nowadays.
Is there any increased
increase in his motor lately, especially when his best games of the season against Auburn?
No increase. You know, he's always 100%. You know, you don't see. I think the great ones don't really click it into gear. They're always in gear, and Clyde's one of the great ones.
Joe, it seems like coaches are willing to put the ball over the middle a little bit more often. And the slant has really been used effectively by elite teams this year. You and Alabama, I think, are two of the best at it. From a quarterback perspective.
Can you say that again?
The slant, just the slant route, and your reads off of it. I mean, can you kind of take us through how both of you guys, speaking specifically for yourself, how you use that as like a weapon and how your receivers are equipped for it?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on the defense that you're playing. And a lot of the teams that we've played this year have played this kind of off quarters thing to the field that give up the quick slants to number 2 in a 3-by-1. So, you know, we've taken advantage of that. It seems like just about everybody in the SEC plays that defense. So, you know, whatever the defense gives us, we're going to take. And sometimes it'll be the slant, sometimes it'll be an out. You know, it just depends on what the defense is giving away.
How do you guys make the call at the lineup as far as what it's going to be?
Oh, it comes from the sideline. You know, it's just a game plan thing. And we always have our quick game package that we go into the game with.
I don't know if you saw what your coach said about you today, but we were all taken aback. He said you were one of the top 5 recruits, was the word he used. I think he meant players in the history of this program. What do you think your impact is?
I just try to bring some toughness and leadership to the team. I don't know about the top 5 or greatest players in LSU history. I don't know about all. Oops, sorry, somebody's. I don't know about all that, but you know, I just try to bring 100% every day and try to prepare the way that I think enables us to be successful on Saturdays. So I'm going to bring toughness. I'm going to bring leadership, and I think that's all you can ask from a quarterback.
Joe, knowing how evenly matched these teams are, a lot of these big-time games, it really comes down to 2 or 3 plays a lot of times. How prepared does this whole team feel based on what you guys have gone through for maybe those 2 or 3 plays in that moment that could be the difference makers?
Yeah, I think we have a really mature team that, you know, watches film, and that can be the difference in those 2 to 3 plays, because you're going to get a look that you haven't seen. You know, they have 2 weeks to prepare for us, so we're going to get some looks that we haven't seen all year from them. And, you know, being prepared, knowing the base rules of the offense, and watching that film is going to enable you to be ready for those 2 to 3 plays that need to be made.
Joe, I know you've only been a part of one of these matchups so far, but going back to the last 8 tries, do you feel like there's a mental hurdle at all for this team to get over going into a matchup like this, and from a confidence standpoint, knowing that you can find points, like how much differently does that make your confidence going into the game?
I wouldn't say there's a mental hurdle. I think, you know, we're really confident in our abilities, and we're really confident in our coaching staff and our scheme as well. And we know the kind of offense we are. So we got to go out and face them, but they got to come out and face us too.
So you mentioned the seeing things in a game that you may not see. I mean, how often in a game are you guys seeing stuff that you haven't seen, and how well do you guys adapt to that?
Yeah, you know, we've seen it in every game this year. Something, you know, every team has had something for us just because we've been so successful. You know, a lot of teams think that they need to bring something new out, and you know, we've seen it in Auburn and Florida and Texas and every other game that we've played this year. So we're going to have to be ready. So you have your game plan going in, and then you have to make your adjustments really after that first drive, seeing what they're in.
In what ways does this offense make that easy to transition?
You know, that's a good question, because we have our base stuff, but we've also game planned against our defense in fall camp and spring ball. So we have a lot of stuff in our back pocket that we can always go to when, you know, if you see someone plays off and then you come into the game and they're pressed, you know, we have a whole nother package that we can go to that's not necessarily on the call sheet or the game plan. And Coach E and Coach Joe do a great job of recognizing that and kind of pivoting the game plan to what it needs to be.
How much of a difference does Brady make? I mean, is it that significant? I'll ask really one question soon to it. Has it been that significant that, you know, or is it just kind of the perfect storm? You, him, Maker being...
I think that's the right word, the perfect storm. You know, being with all these guys for an extra year, Jamar, Terrace, Justin coming back, Clyde emerging, O-line, all 5 of them coming back, emerging as one of the top groups in the country. And then you add in Coach Joe and Coach E working together on the game plans. You know, it's been something special for us this year. And, we have all the confidence in the world in each other, and I have all the confidence in the world in the coaching staff, the scheme, and my teammates. So I think that's really what the perfect storm has been, just getting together, extra work, and confidence in each other.
Two more for Joe, two more for chance for the president to actually be in the game.
Regardless of your political views, that's pretty cool having the president at the game. Doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican. President at the game is pretty cool.
Hey Joe, in comparison, how do you think this matchup stacks up, or this rivalry stacks up to like a Michigan?
I knew I was going to get that one today. That's Ohio State team up north is a real good one, but it's hard to answer that when you're kind of in the middle of both of them. I think that's a question for me in 2 years when I look back and reflect on it.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks, guys.
Asked an interesting question in his press conference. What was the better rivalry, Ohio State or Michigan, or LSU, Alabama? Guy took the political way out, told me, give me a few years after I get out to look back and reflect. What do you think, Bud, man?
He's not crazy, although LSU's got to beat Alabama here on Saturday if you want to start calling it a rivalry, 8 straight games. That being said, Michigan has had an offer and a goose egg with Harbaugh against Ohio State. Joe's very smart, says he'll answer it in a couple years, but look, down here in South Louisiana, everybody knows, as we can smell a little smell-o-vision with some incredible pasta and some chicken and all of the great food that we have over here, it's gonna get spicy in Scoreboards this weekend.
Here at Scoreboards, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. You can see the steam coming off that pasta. It smells delicious. Great chicken fettuccine. Come get that as a special today on Wednesdays. A lot coming up this weekend. LSU, Bama. We talked about the offense, Joe Burrow. Now we're going to switch to the defense. One guy that we think needs to explode in order to possibly make him some money in the near future. Clavon Chaisson, number 18. Here is the outside linebacker for the Tigers, who hopes to make an impact on the game. Maybe get the 2 and get a sack. Here is Clavon Chaisson.
Be the scramble threat that you guys have had to prepare for in the past, so maybe keeping him in the pocket isn't the worst thing in the world.
I guess. I mean, when you off adrenaline, you probably be able to do anything you feel like you're doing. You'll feel it after the game. So I'm not going to really too much buy into the whole he can't do as much as he can possibly do because of the recent procedure he just got worked on. But I mean, if that's the case, then I guess that's a better thing for us, but I'm not going to buy into it.
You guys are preparing like he's going to be 100%.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the best reason to do that wrong.
That's the best case scenario. I mean, you don't want to go preparing thinking that he's not going to do something, then he comes out and do it, and now we're all looking like, well, why is he doing that? So we're going to prepare like he's 100% healthy, like there's nothing wrong with him, and if there's something that we have to adjust to within the game, we will do it.
What does this game mean for you, I guess? A lot of people put different levels of importance upon it and want to hype it up, don't want to hype it up. How do you approach it?
Can I be honest with you? Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I'm not from Louisiana, so this is like a big game for Louisiana people, I'm guessing. I'm not downing it, but it's a regular game to me, I'm just happy to be out there playing. I'm finally playing this game, so I'm just excited. That's it.
Clavon, when it comes to rattling an elite quarterback like Tua, how do you shake him up? How do you make him second guess himself, be a little bit hesitant out there and possibly just be slightly off his game that can make the difference?
Quarterback hits. Just be in his face and just be in his presence all day long. It's like a gnat. Like you keep seeing the gnat bothering. It's like now you're starting to get aggravated. Now it's throwing you off, So just be in his face as much as possible. Just lay on him as much as possible. A lot of quarterback hits every time he scrambles, making sure it's a big hit. You put all your weight on him. I mean, not just playing dirty, but just making sure he feel you throughout the game. So, I mean, that's just what it's going to take.
Speaking of weight, tell me about the game that Tyler, or the season, I guess, that Tyler's kind of having, and how much improved it is, I guess, from a year ago. Sheldon.
He's having a great season. I think everyone outside of here can see it, and that's even better. But I mean, that's something that we expected out of him. Obviously, the weight thing was an issue. We had to get that down. I mean, he's playing even better. And if probably we can get that down even more, we can reach a whole nother level with that. But I'm not going to beg him to too much. We're going to keep it where it's at now. But we're excited to have him, man, and that's a great thing. And for him to play at that level is just to put the defense on the extra level.
What does a guy like that afford you on the edge?
When I know that the inside is locked down, it's a lot less things I have to worry about. I can focus on just my area, my gap, and especially rushing-wise. So if I'm rushing from the outside, I know a quarterback can't step up in the middle because I know Tyler Shelton has that on lock. Taking 2 or 3 people, whatever the case, I know the middle is going to be clogged off. So and that leaves me for a free sack or whatever the case may be. So it's a blessing having him inside.
Caleb, how big of a loss is Michael Divinity going into this game just from a rushing standpoint?
Huge loss, huge loss.
To lose him and Justin, I mean, does it just put that much more pressure on guys like Andre to step up and fill that void, or is it's got to be collective, or how do y'all approach that?
It shouldn't. I mean, I'm not personally Andre, so I can't tell you how he feels, but I don't think it'll put any more pressure on him. He's been preparing for this regardless of the situation may be. This happened to him last year when I went down in the Miami game. He stepped right up and he played the role like nothing happened. Man down, man up. It's one team in the heartbeat. So whoever steps up in this position, I'm sure they'll be ready to go without any miss or beat. I mean, like I said, it was a huge loss for us, and it's some big shoes to fill, but I'm sure that they can handle it.
Caleb Vaughn, you may not be from Louisiana, but this is probably one of the most anticipated games this season so far, with number 1 LSU and number 2 Alabama. So y'all are going to be on a national stage. What is it you want the country to see that LSU can prove?
I don't know. I just want to play. I'm sorry. Like I don't want. It's nothing hidden. I don't have it's not a hidden agenda that we're trying to prove and show the world. You know, we're not trying to outprove. You know what I'm saying? Like just prove to anyone we know our game. We know how we play, and that's what we're going to do. And if everybody on the field, all 11 from special teams, offense and defense, do their job, we're going to come out with the results we want.
How much does playing in those other 3 top 10 matchups help give you guys the right demeanor for this game?
I guess a lot. I mean, the rankings don't really mean anything, and I think everybody know that. I mean, those them 3 opponents were good opponents. Don't get me wrong, but whether they were top 10, top 25, I mean, that don't mean anything. So coming to this game, even if we weren't ranked as high as we are now, this game would still be a high anticipated game that everyone knows just from the state and worldwide, from the tradition and history of the 2 programs. So, like, it's gonna be a great game. We've been prepared well. I mean, from practice to games, non-conference games to previous conference games. I think we're gonna be really, really well.
There's a chance the president might be at the game. What do you think about that?
Exciting. I'm sorry. I mean, I won't personally know that he's there because I'm playing. So I mean, I'll figure it out after, but it wouldn't have no effects on me while I'm playing the game.
There's still work to be done after this game, obviously. But do you look at it like a de facto playoff game at all? Is that motivation going into a matchup like this?
Not at all.
Why not?
It's a regular game.
You keep telling yourself that it becomes true, I guess.
It's the truth. I mean, got no reason to lie to you. It's the truth. It's a regular game. They put their pants on how we put our pants on, put their cleats on. It's big for you guys. I'm like not trying to like really blow it out of proportion, but it's a regular game.
Thank you, John.
That was Le'Veon Chason here on Tigers Roar. Gotta get our last break of the evening. Come back and put a bow right here on Tigers Roar.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Okay, great, thanks.
Whoa! Did you just get this installed?
Yep, I got my Bluetooth contacts, playlist, boom.
Hey, let's call my wife.
No.
Oh, come on. I just want to see how it works.
Okay. Call Miss Know-It-All.
Calling Miss Know-It-All.
Dude, it streams music, too.
Oh, yeah?
not cool.
You don't need a new car to have new technology. Mike's Audio, conveniently located on Airline Highway near the corner of Bluebonnet.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Creel Tree Service is a licensed and insured tree service providing tree and stump removal, topping, trimming, cabling, pruning, and fertilizing. We have free stump removal with takedowns, free estimates, affordable rates, and senior citizens discounts. Call 774-TREE. That's 774-8733. Get your yard ready for the warmer weather. If it deals with a tree, call me, Creel Tree Service, 774-8733. That's 774-TREE.
Remember the smell of vinyl? What happened to all your old records? Lost in a move? Thrown out by the ex? Get them back. Classic Vinyl's record store and collectibles, 13847 Coursey, where you can find all old vinyl, all genres of music, rock, country, blues, and R&B. Classic Vinyls and collectibles behind Mary Lee Donuts and Coursey. If they don't have it, they'll get it. Look for them on Facebook. Classic Vinyls, sponsors of Classic Vinyls Classic Rock Night Thursdays at Scoreboards on Coursey.
Welcome back. Wrapping it up on this Wednesday night over here at Scoreboards. JP, very early in the week, a lot of excitement. We got the first CFP poll, 2 and 3. Real quick, folks, LSU's got to play smarter, got to play under control, got to be focused, much better in the red zone. Obviously, got to protect Joe Burrow, got to tackle in space, got to wrap up. And as a lot of people have said this week, they want to see LSU get ahead of Alabama and believe that they can beat the Crimson Tide.
All right, will this be the week that Joe Brady busts out that seam route that's been a staple in the Saints offense for so many years? Haven't really seen that from the Tigers thus far this season. Will this be the game they exploit those young linebackers that Alabama had Crimson Tide? They had to replace some 5-star athletes. Not that those backups aren't good. They play some ball. But will this be the week that Joe Burrow exploits that deep middle like we've seen Drew Brees do so many times? I want to thank you guys for watching Tigers Roar. If you miss anything on Pelican Sports, be sure to go to YouTube. YouTube.com/Pelican Broadcasting is a great place to keep track of everything we do here at the Pelican. I want to thank Marty, our floor manager, and everybody in the truck. For Buddy Sanji, I'm Jonathan Poche.
38-34.
Tune in next week for another episode of Tigers Roar. And go Tigers.
That was black.